Well, hey guys, get excited. In today's video, it is Battle of the Cleansing Balms, and we are comparing Neutrogena's Cleansing Balm to CeraVe Makeup Removing Cleanser Balm. I love doing a double cleanse. I find that using either a cleansing balm, such as one of these, or a cleansing oil as the first step in a double cleanse is very effective for removing the film of dirt, oil, cosmetic residue, and importantly, water-resistant sunscreen. I just find that it makes it a lot easier to spread an oil-based product on the surface of the skin, dry, move it all around, and then hop in the shower, rinse it off, and then come in with a gentle cleanser. It takes everything off very efficiently and very effectively. In the US, in our drugstores, is it just me? We have been slacking in the cleansing balms. We just don't have that many, let alone cleansing oils. Sure, Clinique, pharmacy, etc. But in the drugstore brands, they're not that common. Olay has like 900 moisturizers, but they can't come out with a makeup removing cleansing balm. Maybe they have one, but I've never seen it. Comment below on if that exists. Let's compare price here. The CeraVe product is $9.74 for 1.3 ounces. Now that works out to about $7.28 per ounce, whereas Neutrogena's cleansing balm is $8.27 for 2.6 ounces, roughly $3.18 per ounce. So a lot cheaper for double the volume. What is in this? Beeswax, and it has cetyl alcohol, a wax alcohol. That's going to help with dissolving the cosmetic residue, and it also has polysorbate 80. That is an emulsifier, so that's going to help this rinse off the skin along with that dirty residue. There's no fragrance. It has no odor. None whatsoever. There's no odor to this. If you're like me and you don't like fragrance and you don't want some weird odor, I think you would enjoy that aspect of this. What I noticed right off the bat about this is it is hard as wax. It is very hard. It is a very stiff cleansing balm, which if you know me, I do not like. I like a silky, smooth, easy to dissolve cleansing balm that spreads and glides on the surface of the skin with minimal effort. It is not difficult to get out of the container and go to work. I find that if the cleansing balm is stiff like this, you end up using way too much and wasting it and going through it too quickly. Now, one way around that with this product is to take some out, rub it a bit between your fingers to warm it up, and then spread it on the skin. But I don't know. To me, it's like they need to use something, they need to put more of an oil in there to make it melt. It makes a huge difference in the experience. I love doing the oil cleanse part of my skincare routine. It is my favorite thing to do. I drag it out because I just enjoy smearing the cleansing balm all over my face, or the cleansing oil if that's what I'm using. I love smearing that all over my face. It's very relaxing. It's very therapeutic. I spend a lot of time doing it because I enjoy it. And if the cleansing balm is too stiff, I'm not going to enjoy it. So it's not an enjoyable experience. However, when I hop in the shower, it rinses off completely, and there's no raccoon eyes, which is a good test of the cleansing balm or cleansing oil. If it takes off the mascara and the eyeliner or whatever, you don't have raccoon eyes with just the rinse, probably pretty good. And then I follow, of course, with a gentle cleanser to make sure I get everything off. But yeah, very good, emulsifies, rinses off. It's just the experience is seriously lacking. The ingredients of the Neutrogena product are pretty limited. There's not a lot in this. There's no fancy ingredient. It's just fatty wax alcohols and emulsifier. I mean, there's not much sophisticated here at all. So if you really relish the cleansing balm step, you're not going to enjoy this. It's effective though. It is definitely effective. If it's all you have access to, give it a try. It's effective, and importantly, it's pretty inexpensive. It's effective, it does the job, and it's inexpensive. But you get what you pay for, and you're not getting necessarily a pleasant experience. Let's flip on over to CeraVe. CeraVe, you know, they have their hands tied with their name. Cera means ceramide, VE, and CeraVe is vehicle, because they have to put ceramides in everything. If you think about it, they can't come out with a product and not put ceramides in it. Do we necessarily need ceramides in a cleansing balm? I don't know. I don't know. Are they helpful in a cleansing balm? I mean, cleansing balm, it's functional. You're trying to break up the film of cosmetic residue. And it's not necessarily to deposit things on the skin that are going to yield benefit. And there's not really a need, in my opinion, although, you know, I'm not a formulating expert or anything, there's no need, in my opinion, to have things in there to counteract water loss, drying effects of smearing basically oily stuff on your face. There's no need for that. So are the ceramides necessary? I don't think they are, but again, because of their name, CeraVe, their hands are tied. They have to put ceramides in everything. If they came out with toilet paper, it's going to have ceramides in it. If they come out with windshield wiper fluid, it's going to have ceramides in it. What the heck is a ceramide anyway? You're probably wondering. It's a lipid that's naturally present in our skin as part of our skin barrier. With certain dry skin conditions and with age, the levels of ceramides decline. There's evidence that putting them on the skin, like in a moisturizer, can help with that. And so that's a good thing. It's good for people who have eczema prone skin, has benefit. But again, to what extent you need them in a cleansing balm, I don't know. Anyway, that's in there. Now CeraVe, they made a more sophisticated experience. I will give them that because they put jojoba seed oil, which I really think makes their product melt much easier. It's a lot easier to spread on the skin surface in comparison to that Neutrogena waxy brick, which is a lot grainier. The CeraVe product is a little bit silkier, smoother. It's still a bit stiff though. It's not as silky as I like in a cleansing balm, but it melts a lot more easily onto the surface of the skin. Like the Neutrogena product, CeraVe performs like a dream in that when you get in the shower, everything rinses off with the water and there are no raccoon eyes. Then you follow it with a gentle cleanser and it's very effective. However, I will point out that the CeraVe product smells like buttered toast, which is kind of a pleasant experience in my opinion, but you may not care for that. I don't know if it's the jojoba seed oil that kind of gives it that buttery aroma. It's pleasant. It's like, ooh, putting your face in buttered toast. So there you have it. Whereas the Neutrogena product, there's no odor. The Neutrogena product is a very sterile utilitarian product, whereas the CeraVe one is a bit more luxe. My biggest gripe with both of these, and I don't know if this is just not something that is easy to package into the American cleansing balms, and that is a Scoopy Doodle. The Scoopy Doodles, the little spatulas, they're annoying because they float all over the place. They're hard to keep up with. I always drop them. Brands never put any kind of thing to hold the Scoopy Doodle properly onto the thing, except I will say Drunk Elephant they had a magnet, and that was brilliant. I don't know if they still have that, but I always thought that was brilliant. They had the Scoopy Doodle adhere to the lid with like a magnet. I always thought that was genius. So brands that do Scoopy Doodles need to do that, but you kind of need the Scoopy Doodle with the cleansing balm, especially when you first get it. It's very difficult. Like it's a weird, awkward experience to drag your finger through this wax and try and scoop it out. It's difficult. You end up getting either too little, not enough, or a big glob. It's really hard to get a precise amount. Whereas with the scoop, it's much easier. The scoop has kind of almost a sharp edge to it that you can dig in, and then it scoops what you need. And you don't end up wasting. And it's not like, you know, you've got it on your finger and then you're scraping some off and putting it back in the container, which I don't advise. With the scoop, if you get a little bit too much, it's a lot easier to put it right back in, you know, right there as you're scooping. So I really wish these came with a scoop. It would make it much easier to get. But the Neutrogena one especially, because it is so stiff, it's very hard. If you have those long artificial nails, I mean, I don't know. I see people with those long nails like getting moisturizer, sunscreen and stuff out, and they use the side of their finger. But I don't get how you could use the side of your finger to get this cleansing balm out. I mean, it's like you're getting very little. It's like it's not working. So that would be my gripe with the Neutrogena one. It's stiff. It needs a shovel for sure. So those are those two. You know, they work. They're good drugstore options, pretty reasonably priced. The Neutrogena one being the least expensive, but there's definitely room for improvement here. So I'm going to give a shout out to Beauty of Joseon's cleansing balm. I discovered this year, and it is very soft. It does come with a Scoopy Doodle, which I don't have out here. It's very soft. It's silky. It is a pleasant experience. There's no odor. There's no fragrance. It does a good job. It emulsifies. When you step in the shower, it totally rinses off, takes all the gunk with it, and then you do the gentle cleanser to make sure everything is off in total. It works well. It's a nice experience. It's inexpensive. It's somewhere in between the CeraVe and the Neutrogena. It's a little bit more expensive than the Neutrogena. It's about $4.58 per ounce, but it is well worth it. At the end of the day, all three of these will take your makeup off. All three of these will take off water-resistant sunscreen. And all three of these are effective. But in my opinion, if I'm gonna rank all three, I'm gonna put Beauty of Joseon as number 1, CeraVe number 2, and Neutrogena as number 3. I would not repurchase the Neutrogena one myself, but if that is all you have access to, go ahead and get it, because it is good enough and it is effective. And I really think it can make a huge difference, though, from a skin perspective, to use either a cleansing balm or a cleansing oil. I get this question a lot. Do I need to do this step? Must I do this step? No, it's not required. You can wash your face with a cleanser and be fine in life. But personally, I find it is a lot easier to do this to remove especially water-resistant sunscreen. As a matter of fact, speaking personally, recently I forgot to use my cleansing balm. I just hopped in the shower, and once I was in the shower, I was like, oh, I forgot to put my cleansing balm on. That rarely ever happens because, like I said, I enjoy it so much. And so I was like, whatever, I'll just wash my face a couple of times with the cleanser in here. I'm in the shower, it should all come off. And I was wearing the Color Science Face Shield Flex, which is a tinted water-resistant sunscreen. I washed my face in there with the cleanser actually 3 times. And when I got out, I was shocked at how much of the Color Science Face Shield Flex was still on my face. So shout out to Color Science for making one heck of a tenacious sunscreen. It stays on, but yeah, for me, that just is all the more reason to keep doing it, because the Color Science product, it's tinted, but imagine all the other stuff that maybe is not getting taken off as effectively. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, are we leaving behind a film of stuff? I do suspect that may be a contributing factor as to why some people find that sunscreens break them out, because maybe they're using a water-resistant one, and you know, if they did the double cleanse, and they'd get more of it off at the end of the day, and leaving that film behind ends up being irritating. So I do think it does have some benefits, but it's not like it's the most widely studied practice. There is one small study that suggests that using a cleansing oil, I believe, prior to trying to take off sunscreen minimized irritation. So there's that, but it's not like we've got randomized control trials of, people with something like eczema, one group doing double cleansing and the other group just using a face wash twice to say that it actually makes a difference. But in my personal experience, it definitely makes a difference. All right, y'all, I hope this video was helpful to you guys in terms of trying to decide between the two if you were thinking about it. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.